What is good, everyone? Welcome to this video. I'm Charlie from Conscious Creation, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you how you can overcome anxiety. I'm going to be sharing with you my story, what I went through, and how I managed to heal myself very quickly once I figured out what was going on. So I'm going to give you a bit of a background of my story first, because it will give you a better understanding about how anxiety is created in the first place. So I went to university, and after my first semester, I caught something called glandular fever, which is quite a common disease. I went to the doctors, I wasn't feeling great, and they diagnosed me with this glandular fever. And they said, all you can do is relax and rest, and you will eventually get better. And so that's what I did. After about 3 or 4 months, I noticed I wasn't getting any better, and my thoughts and my emotions started to become more and more negative, and I started to feel this anxiety build within my body. I then experienced a panic attack. Now, if you've ever experienced one of these, it's not a lot of fun. It's like you're being chased by a tiger, except you're not being chased by a tiger, which is really confusing. So after about 6 months of initially being diagnosed and feeling this anxiety starting to build within my body, I went back to the doctors, and they then diagnosed me with ME, chronic fatigue syndrome, which is this disease which is ongoing. You're basically tired, you're lethargic, and you haven't got a lot of energy most of the time. So I couldn't do a lot of the things that I wanted to do. Now, they said there was nothing that I could do to heal this. Now, me being as stubborn as I am, I was like, right, okay, there's got to be something that I can do about this. And I went on this journey of holistic healing to figure out what was going on inside my body. I tried hypnotherapy, herbal medicine. I even did something called lymphatic drainage, which is every Monday afternoon, I would get a train up to see this lady, this 2-hour train drive, and she would drain toxins out of my body through certain massage technique, out of my brain and out of my body. I did this for 6 months and no prevail. So it was about 2 years of trying to figure out what was going on inside my body and seeing lots of different specialists until I came across something that actually worked for me. And it's NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And I did something called the Lightning Process. And we had to read this book before we went on the course. And I started reading this book and I was like, wow, this is exactly what is going on in my body. And we did the course. I did the course, which was 3 days, and I started to implement the tools that they had taught us. And after a week, I started to feel a lot better. After 2 weeks, I was completely healed, and I was amazed. I had gone through all of this stuff, and I was able to heal myself very quickly once I understood what was going on in my body. And I'd like to share that with you. So what was going on inside my body is when I had that virus, when I had that glandular fever, is my body was switching something called your fight or flight response. Now, we're going to be talking about 2 nervous systems. You've got something called your sympathetic nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system. So your sympathetic nervous system is all about that fight or flight, and we're still programmed for that caveman lifestyle. So if a tiger does come into the room, is you're going to register 2 thoughts: fight it or flight it, which means just run away. So this is the fight or flight response. Now, this sympathetic nervous system is only designed to be switched on once in a blue moon. But for me, it was continually being turned on because of this glandular fever, because of this ongoing virus. And because my sympathetic nervous system became overactive, this is why I started to feel more and more anxious. Now, when I then experienced that panic attack, what your brain actually does, it takes a snapshot of that situation. It goes shutting. So when you have that heightened survival emotional response to something, is your brain takes a snapshot of the environment. This is why we always focus on our problems, because we take that image and we store it in our memory bank. So for me, when I would have a panic attack in a lecture, is my brain would take a snapshot of the environment and the people, and it would go over that image over and over and over and over. Do you ever find if you're just sitting on the sofa and suddenly a thought pops into your mind and you start feeling all of these emotional states because your mind is going through that problem. But the thing is your brain doesn't know the difference between an actual experience and a memory. So it feels like you're reliving this experience again and again, and it's releasing that adrenaline, that cortisol within your body. Now, what starts to happen then is NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. So as you're feeling these emotions in your body because you're reliving the event, it starts to change the networks in your brain. And it's a bit like a tractor going down a pathway. Now, if more and more tractors go down that pathway, it becomes more trodden in. The more you start thinking and reliving those experiences that caused you that trauma, the more those networks are going to get stronger until eventually it becomes a subconscious program. So as it becomes a subconscious program, you have no control over it. So, for example, I saw my university as a place of danger. It was a subconscious program. So anything that's related to the event where you experienced that trauma is your body's going to start giving you anxiety. So I was feeling this anxiety every time I would go into university. Because of that fight or flight response, because of that anxiety, is my sympathetic nervous system went on overdrive. And this is why I was becoming chronically ill, because no one can function when their body is releasing all of these chemicals all the time. You lose that equilibrium and you're not able to heal. So what needs to be done is you need to learn how to switch off your sympathetic nervous system and switch over to your parasympathetic nervous system, which is all about that relaxation, that homeostasis, that calm state within your body. The thing is what if people are responding, having this traumatic response to everyday stuff, their jobs, their lifestyle, relationships, paying bills? We are all having this traumatic, this fight or flight response to these situations. We're going over them in our mind. They're creating these subconscious programs. We no longer have control and our body is reacting in anxious ways to these situations. We are having this overactive sympathetic nervous system and we want to learn how to switch that off and go over to that parasympathetic nervous system. So I'm going to share with you all the tools that I have learned in the hope that you can implement them and help you in some sort of way. So the first one is through that of meditation. Now, the word meditation means to become familiar with. We want to become familiar with what it feels like to be calm and relaxed. In the same way that you went over that image in your mind, that stress response, and you created a subconscious program, we want to override that with a new program. So what you want to do is the situation, the event that causes you that anxiety, is you want to start imagining that place when in a calm and relaxed response. So you don't want to do this when you're feeling that anxiety because your brain waves are going through the roof, and the last thing that you can try and make your body do is feel calm and relaxed because the mind and body are completely in opposition. So when we get into a meditative state, or even before you fall asleep at night when your brain waves drop, when you're in that calm and relaxed place, is you want to start visualizing the event or the situation how you would prefer it. So for me, I would start visualizing the places where I was having this anxiety, but I would imagine myself being calm and relaxed. And as I would go over this image over and over, I would create those feelings of peace and contentment within myself, and those emotions would start creating new networks in my brain. And the more I kept focusing on that, those networks get stronger and stronger and stronger. And it then becomes a subconscious program, overriding that program that was giving me that anxiety. And now it's a subconscious program. I would then go to the place that would give me that anxiety initially, and I would no longer feel it because my brain was relating this place as a safe place. So what are some other things that we can do that can help you along this journey? Is one of the things that I learned from this course is that your body responds much better to your posture than it does to your actual words. Like when you're speaking to someone, most of the information is coming from your body language, not the actual words. It's only about 7% comes from the things that you are actually saying. So if you're down like this and your head's down and you say to yourself, I'm happy, I'm joyful, is your body's going to say, no, you're not, because your posture is down like that. Whereas if you put your shoulders back and you put your head up and you say, I'm unhappy, I'm sad, is you won't feel unhappy or sad because your body is telling you a different story. So when you're in those places that give you that anxiety, if you can change your posture, is you are going to start changing your relationship to that environment. Like, for example, if you put your shoulders back, you start breathing deeply within your stomach for a couple of minutes. They even did this study at Harvard for both men and women, is your testosterone, the confident boosting hormone, increases by 20%. Cortisol, the fear hormone, that of anxiety related, drops by 20%. So simply changing your posture in the environment that gives you that anxiety is you are going to start relating to that environment as a safer place. We can also do it through that of breathing, because when you are being chased by a tiger, what do? You breathe really fast through your chest, because you want to get as much energy, oxygen and blood into your body in order to escape the situation. Your sympathetic nervous system is activated. So if you feel that anxiety coming about, what you can do is you can change your biology through your breathing. So simply switching your focus from your chest, putting your hand on your stomach and start breathing through your tummy. 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. And you do this for a little bit of time, as your body's going to start to become more and more relaxed. If this should all fail, is you just want to surrender to the experience completely. One of the things that I noticed is when I was experiencing these panic attacks, I was like, I really don't want anyone to see me. This is really embarrassing. But if you continue to push down those emotions and ignore them, they are going to hunt you down like a pack of wolves. You cannot ignore them. And I talk about this in my other videos, the idea of that emotion building up. And the more you ignore it, the more that anxiety is going to be built within your body and then going to express itself in things like that of a panic attack. So if you are feeling anxious, is just let it happen. And an amazing thing starts to happen as well. Let's say you do have a panic attack in a certain situation and your initial feeling is you want to get up and you want to run away, you want to go and get some air. Is if you don't do that, and you let the emotion pass, even though you have a strong urge to move, is your body's giving you that fight or flight, but you're staying in that situation, and as it passes, you've just told your body that the environment is safe, and your body's like, well, I've just given you all of this adrenaline, but there was no need because you're still alive, you're still here, and it will start relating to that environment as a safe place. So if you are going through it, I hope these tools do help you along your journey. And it's a lot scarier when you don't know what's going on in your body, but when you know what's going on and you've got the tools to help you, it becomes a lot more manageable. And once you are able to overcome it, you become a much stronger person because of it. I will put a free meditation below that can help you with the process of reprogramming your subconscious mind, that can help you with this anxiety if you want to give it a go. Apart from that, thank you for watching. Peace and take care.